Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce GTX 1650 4GB GDDR5 in Assassin's Creed Mirage. This one is the Gigabyte Mini ITX OC model of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech PowerUp's GPU-Z. Again, it's the GDDR5 model and the GDDR6 will be a little bit faster. And over on the left, we're pairing it with the Ryzen 7 5700G and 16GB of RAM to avoid CPU bottlenecks. Let's get into it, shall we? And let's go over the settings first. I'm starting at 1080p resolution with 100% resolution scale and the low settings preset without the adaptive quality, so we're running at native resolution here with TAA. We're also going to test FSR2, of course, as well as XeSS and lower resolutions if it handles it poorly. I'm not sure what to expect here. The game is pretty well optimized, as you probably know already. Oh boy, look at that. We're getting 50s, guys. We're getting 50 something frames per second with drops into the 40s. This is extremely playable. Yes, again, it doesn't really look very good because it's on low settings, but it still looks very passable in my opinion. Can you just get out of the freaking hay? God damn it. What is happening? Okay, see, no, get out. Thank you, Jesus. What the hell? Alright, anyway, it's not really stuttering at all. VRAM usage is not maxed out, because the game said in the menu that it would only utilize around 3 GB using these settings, so we can... a little bit of a stutter there. We can increase the settings slightly, especially those textures, which will make a little bit of a difference to the visuals, of course. Still, the lighting still looks great, guys. Shadows are still there, even though they're low quality, but yeah, pretty much everything looks pretty alright, aside from some LOD. Sometimes you can notice that the shadow LOD especially is not really that great, but it doesn't really bother me. It's a GTX 1650, you know. I did not expect it to do so well here in Assassin's Creed Mirage. Yeah, I could definitely have a lot of fun with the 1650 still here. And the GTX 1650 GDDR6 will be that little bit faster, so probably achieving closer to 60 FPS on average, which is amazing for the second most popular GPU on Steam at the moment. Yeah, not bad whatsoever, guys. I really want to get to the most intensive area, though, and I am a bit lost here, as usual. I still don't know the map very well. It's a round city, so it's made in purpose for me to get lost, okay? Oh boy, wait a second. Maybe it's here? I think so. No, it's not. Oh, wait, yes, it is. It's in this direction. There we go. Yeah, sometimes that frame time spike can have some little stutters here and there, but they're not really game-breaking, I would say. I could still play the game and enjoy it all day long like this, my friends. Look at this. This is it. Dropping into the low 40s. It actually touched 40 frames per second there. Maybe it will drop into like the high 30s at times, but hey, it is a great experience for a GTX 1650, right? Now, a good idea to improve your FPS is play with some FSR2, and this on quality looks pretty good still. The upscaling implementations in Assassin's Creed Mirage are pretty good looking, okay? Let me just kill this guy. Alright, there we go. Oh, no, that's the bad one, that's the bad. Okay, oh boy, I would just increase the sharpness of FSR a little bit, the sharpening filter, you know, because it's looking a little bit softer, slightly pixelated when you're moving and stuff, but overall, it looks better than some games do at native resolution. Those games that have forced TAA, this one does as well, but TAA in this game looks pretty good, actually. But yeah, there are plenty of titles out there that look super blurry. For example, Hogwarts Legacy is always the one that comes to mind, you know. If you are playing on a smaller monitor, 21 inches, 23 inches, 24 inches at 1080p, FSR2 will look pretty damn good. You can tell the difference between it enabled and disabled, of course. Oh my god, what the hell did you do? Okay, it's fine. But yeah, as I was saying, you can tell the difference in visuals with FSR on and off, but it is not too massive. It still looks really decent with it enabled. So FSR2 on quality was good for 60-ish FPS on average, still looked decent on low settings, but I want to see it with XeSS on quality next, okay? And XeSS usually looks slightly better than FSR, but in this game I'm not too sure it does. I can see that it's a little bit more pixelated in some areas than FSR was, and this is not the norm whatsoever. Oh my god. Okay, we got a lot of food right here. We can eat, replenish our health. There we go. Interestingly, though, we're still hovering around 60 FPS. Usually you see a bigger jump in performance when you use FSR and DLSS than when you use XeSS. XeSS also usually looks better than FSR. Not so much DLSS, but sometimes it's very on par with DLSS, which is interesting. But it's only on Intel GPUs because they got some hardware features to enhance or work better with XeSS. Oh, hello, Jax. How's it going, buddies? Everything all right? Oh, come on. Can I pet one of you? Thank you very much. Why the ugliest one? I don't know. Well, it's not really ugly. It's just dirty or whatever. These ropes are really strong, by the way. They don't even bend, you know? Look at this. Shouldn't they bend, guys? Like, yeah, it's weird. It's maybe I'm just like a feather, you know, my weight here in this game. That's great. I think that's about it for quality XeSS. Oh, they're running away. Where are you going, Jax? Where are you going? Why are you like this? Running in circles. They're all screaming as well. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm not doing anything to you unless you want me to. Okay, can I actually? There we go. We got him, guys. We got him. But let's not get this synchronized, right? Let's stop it there. 61 FPS average. So between the two upscalers that you can utilize with the 1650, I would use FSR2. It actually looked better to my eyes on quality. Now we got the ultra quality version for XeSS, which is interesting. It doesn't show right away. And all right, with ultra quality XeSS, it's way blurrier than native resolution still, but I can say it looks less shimmery than FSR2 at the moment. Okay, so if you want just slightly more FPS than native resolution, so we're gonna get like mid-50s on average, I guess. Yeah, down here, for example, dropping to 55. And slightly better visuals than FSR2 as well. This is an option, but I would aim for those 60 on average. I think that was pretty good. Like with FSR2, it was a really nice experience in this one. Good stuff, my friends. Oh, and you can also increase the sharpening, of course. I forgot again, but if you set it to 100% here with the XeSS, it looks slightly sharper, still a little bit blurry at the distance especially. But hey, it's very passable. So, let's try it out on medium settings, right? Alright, here we have it, guys. 1080p medium settings preset without motion blur or adaptive quality. Alright, so it's definitely a little bit choppier than it was before with 50 FPS, but look at that, it's actually going up right now. We're getting 48, where we got like 54 previously on low settings, and now the game does look a little bit better once again, especially on the texture side of things. I can notice an improvement there, definitely. Let me take a look at like the LOD as well. Yeah, the trees at the distance look way better here on medium than they did on low. That's actually a massive improvement. But again, it's not too distracting on low anyways, so it's fine. And yeah, as I expected over here, it drops into the mid-30s, you know? It's not bad whatsoever. Still very decent and playable. If you're not looking for that 60 FPS experience, I would say this is perfectly fine, you know? It's not amazing, but it looks decent on medium settings once again. It actually looked decent on low, so of course on medium it looks more than decent. This is very acceptable, guys. It doesn't really stutter too much. Sometimes we're still seeing those little spikes in the frame time graph, probably loading something or whatever. I noticed that happened a lot more often near water with the A770 as well as the 6700 XT and the RTX 4070 Ti, so it's probably something to do with the water rate itself loading or whatever for the first time. I think in this direction we might come across some river or something, so I can show you that. I'm gonna jump from here, starting to stutter already. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. See that? That always happens, no matter what GPU you're running, no matter if the RAM isn't maxed out or the VRAM. Hello there, sir. Sorry for that. These little stutters always happen whenever you come across water for the first time, or big blobs of water, at least like the river over here. Hello, Bob. You know what? We should try to fight the bastard, right? This is enough time without killing Bob. Come on. Come. Oh my God! Why always red, boy? God, it's so hard. Oh no! I'm gonna. Come on! Oh my God! He killed me with a kick. Freaking Bob, and now he's leaking the plants right there, you bastard. Alright, anyway, that's enough. We still have FSR here, guys. Remember that. And you know what? This time around, I'm actually going to increase the sharpening over here to 100%. Yeah, that looks slightly better. Maybe a little bit more pixelated because the sharpening brings out those pixelation details a little bit more, you know. But yeah, it's not really a problem, I think. On a smaller monitor, it's going to be a little bit less noticeable once again. And I mean, he's smooth, guys. This is great. This game never disappoints me in terms of the performance, apparently. The heck, it even ran on a GT 1030. Well, walked on a GT 1030, and it ran on the GTX 1050 Ti pretty well as well. I played with that GPU for about 2 hours, actually the missions, you know, without recording, and it was still a decent experience. I enjoyed it. But yeah, at this point, guys, I don't even feel the need to drop the resolution and check it out with like 720p res or 900p res, because most people with GTX 1650 will be running this game at 1080p, because it runs really well at 1080p after all, and there's no need to drop resolution. I would much rather drop the settings if you want those 60 FPS and play with FSR 2 on quality on low settings, but maybe what I'd actually do is play on medium settings with FSR 2, because again, it looks slightly better than it did before, in terms of LOD especially, and it still manages to get close to 60 FPS on average. In some areas, as you can see over here, it actually reaches 60 FPS with a few stutters here and there, but that also happened on low because of the river, basically. Over here, dropping into the lower 40s. That's pretty decent. Single player title, it doesn't really need 60 plus FPS all of the time. Obviously, it's not a first person shooter either. So, shut up, stop calling for Bob. I'm gonna kill you. Oh boy, if this was more accurate, you'd be dead. Now, what about XeSS on ultra quality here? Yeah, I'm not really sure if I like it more than FSR, because it gets rid of the... wait, it's dropping quite a bit more, actually, but this is ultra quality XeSS, not quality, of course, so it's not one-to-one. But still, it looks a bit less pixelated than FSR, but it looks softer at the same time, so I'm not sure if I like it here with GTX 1650. I just go for FSR, honestly, guys. So what should we do next? Maybe high settings? Ooh, high settings runs out of VRAM, so I think high settings with, like, medium textures, 1080p resolution using the high settings with medium environmental textures, or environment textures, yes, and I disabled the adaptive quality. All the adaptive quality does is it tries to achieve the FPS, the target FPS, of course, and it lowers the resolution by quite a lot, the internal resolution, by using FSR as well. And it just ends up looking very pixelated, so I don't really use it very often, and I wouldn't really recommend you to use it either, because sometimes it can also drop from 60 FPS even when you're aiming for 60 FPS. So anyway, start counting our FPS. How many of you expected the native 1080p on high settings on a GTX 1650 to be achieving 30 plus FPS all of the time? I mean, it's getting high 30s, probably gonna drop into the low 30s right there up ahead inside of the bushes and stuff, because, well, again, this is very, very intensive right here, but it looks pretty damn good. A little bit over-sharpened because I got the sharpening at 100% at the moment. But yeah, look at this. 32 FPS, 34, 33... It does not drop from 30 frames per second, so you could even play this game on high settings on a GTX 1650 with medium environment textures. I'm speechless at the moment, okay? Look at this. 40 FPS with 31% lows. I just love the optimization of this game. So many more games should run like this in these days. I mean, again, I get that this game is based on an older engine, but some new titles also run on UE4, Unreal Engine 4, and they also don't look anything special, and they're way more intensive. So I would be very happy if this was the way moving forward. You know, like use engines that actually work properly, not UE4, stutter-free, you know, and that play on a potato GPU like the GTX 1050. Look at this. With FSR 2, we can get 50-ish on average, guys. 50-ish FPS average at high settings with pretty decent visuals still, since we have the sharpening up to 100% right now. I would probably lower it down to like 90 or 80%, because this looks slightly more pixelated than 60%, you know, because it emphasizes the pixelation whenever you use more sharpening. But still, that's up to you. It doesn't really affect FPS, so it's fine. You can use 0% sharpness if you really, really want to. Over here, it's dropping into the low 40s, so worst case scenario, you're gonna see like 42 FPS, maybe like 38 or 37 in very, very intensive scenarios if you come across a more intensive scenario than this one, but that won't happen very often. And I'll say that if you have a GTX 1650 and you really want to buy this game and play this game with your GPU, it's completely safe to do so. Thanks very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.